Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Michelle Anuntua, co-owner of Harmony's Divine Design, where I work alongside the awesome T Weaver. At Harmony's Divine Design, we focus on entrepreneurs achieving their goals. So we do this by offering one-on-one business coaching classes, online courses such as this one, as well as products and services to assist you in streamlining your workflow. So, for this evening, we are kicking off night one of a three-part series that I will be doing this week. And I created this series because it's so important for us to actually have a vision for what we want our business to look like, how we want our business to operate, and pretty much what are the goals that we want to achieve for our businesses, especially as we wrap up 2024 and head into 2025. We hear about a fresh start, a new look, and many of us internalize that, on a personal level. However, by us being entrepreneurs and CEOs of our own businesses, we have to start doing that on a business scale as well. So I'm not sure about anybody else, but I had stopped making resolutions, New Year's resolutions a long time ago, um, mainly because the purpose of a resolution is to resolve an issue. And a lot of times it's not about resolving, but it is about planning and strategizing and putting forth action plans that you can complete for you to achieve the goal that you ultimately have for yourself and for your business. So, today we'll be looking at laying the foundation and looking at our vision and mission statements and exactly what that means in regards to a business and how it actually intertwines with setting our goals. All right. So, as I said, we're going to look at our vision and mission statement and identify what is the difference between the two. Um, I'm not sure about anybody else, but I remember when I first started in business, I'm like, well, isn't the vision and mission statement the same? Like, I thought the words were actually being used interchangeably, but come to find out, your vision and mission statement are actually completely two different things. So, your vision statement is where do you see your business in the long run? You know, when you think of your company, what is it that you ultimately see? Is it, going to turn into a mega corporation? Is it still going to be on a smaller scale, but bigger than what we are right now? Right. So, what exactly is that destination? What is your end goal for this? Okay. And then your mission. So, your mission here, they said it's your compass. And a compass, it pretty much is your direction, right? So, which directions are you going to take? So, your mission statement is the actions that you're going to take to ultimately achieve the vision that you have for your company. All right. So, why defining a vision and mission is so crucial? We're going to talk about that tonight. And for an icebreaker, what's your business idea or dream one in one sentence? So if you could have your dream, like if your dream business, if you're working on your dream business right now, what does that vision look like to you? Anybody like to hop on a mic?
A global ad agency. Oh, no, global AI agency.
Nice, nice. Anybody else?
I'm right there with Dean.
Nice, nice. So I love the fact that we are thinking on that larger scale, right? So that's really, really awesome. All right. So our objectives for tonight, defining a vision. So reflect on your long-term business goals. Again, I want you guys, with this class to really sit down. I hope it gets the wheels turning on exactly what does your long-term picture look like for you? What does it look like for your business and how it's going to run? How is it going to operate? Okay, create a mission statement. So guide daily actions in Q1. With our mission statement, we're going to work with also SMART goals tonight to assist us in creating those action plans and identifying exactly what we want to work on for the first quarter of 2025. And then we're going to work on how we actually align our vision and mission together so that we have a clear roadmap on what we're doing and how we're operating in the upcoming year. So, what is a vision? A vision is a future oriented statement that inspires long term direction. So, again, where do you want your business to be by the end of 2025? An example is a trusted leader in digital marketing. Dean said ultimately he wants his business to become a global AI agency. So, for you personally on your journey, take a moment to just think of what that vision is going to look like for you. All right. And what is a mission? So the mission defines the purpose and the values that's guiding your business and focus on why your business exists. So for me, knowing your why is so important. And I say that because when during this journey, we're going to come across those tough times. We're going to come across times where we may even want to throw in a towel because it might just seem too much at some point. However, it's so important that we identify the why for our companies. Why did we create it? Why are we working on it? Why did we build it? It may have started off as something that we saw interesting, maybe one day on the internet. But now, the fact that you're in this space right now, it shows yourself that you are thinking on it and you're thinking about it on a bigger scale. So when you identify that why, that to me is your continuous motivation, and that continuous push. So here it has an example long term to empower small businesses through affordable marketing tools. And for Q1, in order to work towards it, the goal is to launch affordable marketing tools to provide hands-on support to 10 beta clients. Now, your particular goal, so for mine, one of the main things that I personally want to focus on for my business for quarter 1 is growing my audience base. So with growing my audience base, that means I actually have to map out how I'm going to do it. So am I going to utilize Facebook ads? Am I going to utilize social media as an overall marketing tool? So does that mean, am I touching TikTok, Instagram, Facebook? Am I doing lead magnets? Am I doing email campaigns? And if I'm utilizing all these resources, how am I utilizing them to the best of their ability to achieve the goal that I ultimately have out for my business? So understanding, you have the resources and making a game plan on how you're going to utilize them will really assist in helping the flow of your business. And I will say I learned this personally, with growing our target audience, because that was one of my goals for the fourth quarter. And I've learned how exactly you can use these elements to really grow and get your products and yourself in front of other individuals. So it's been really helpful and a really good learning experience. All right. So here's a quick activity. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes for the first part of reflection. As you see, this question has been reiterated with the first couple of slides, and it's where do you see your business by the end of 2025? And what impact do you want to have? So I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes, just take a moment, think about it. It doesn't have to be a perfect answer or anything like that, but just let it marinate for a second. And if you're comfortable, definitely hop on a mic with what you came up with. All right. Anybody like to share what they came up with so far? Or you guys still need a minute? I think some of you guys might still be marinating, so I'll give you a few more minutes.
I'm bubbling. I'll go first while everybody's marinating.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I see my business by the end of 2025? Um, I see my business as an established ad agency. Um, this is kind of going to answer all of them in one shot, in a way. Um, with partnerships in the educational industry and entertainment industry. My vision is to take the tools that we gain from AI to help broaden the scope of understanding and the use of what AI can do. When I mention entertainment and education, I want to be able to use AI to reach the younger generation as well as the older generation and form a partnership within that to help use the knowledge that we've gained as well as what the the youth's perspective um, to create new tools, new resources through AI um, to combat common pain points from both ends. I also want the educational aspect to help rewrite the educational system by creating opportunities for our children who want to be entrepreneurs to have that established at an early age, where I know for me, the educational system failed us because it was designed for us to be part of the corporate system, not to pursue dreams and have the proper resources for that. Nor did it teach us about day-to-day stuff that we really needed to have established um, money, financial literacy, um, goal setting, work-life balance, um, mental health. I want that to be part of an educational curriculum so that once said child goes to that, they have a better plan as to what they can do in this ever-changing, fast environment called AI. The entertainment industry. Since I love music and art, I want to be able to, that can even be incorporated in the educational industry, help those who like to be creative and to impact their creativity in a way of like, I want to make new music, I want to make films, and be able to have the resources and know-how from the older generation what the process is for that. What does that look like? What's the foundation? And then the younger generation being able to take that and use those foundations and put their spin on it. I love the advertising aspect, creating new products, creating new ways of branding that information, um, but at the same time, giving those people the ability to own their intellectual property and present it in the way that they envision it. Um, so that is my one and my two. In this quarter, What I aim to, right now, I had been in denial about it, but coaching and teaching. Um, I think that is crucial with the information I have in my head, be able to get that out and share that, and not say that it is the end all, the be all, but with the same framework that I've been talking about just a few moments ago about having an educational resource is be able to take that information and see how it can be refined. How can it be more efficient than what I was used to or what I think it can do? So have a what is that called? Um, Sort of like a mastermind group going into the first quarter so that by the end of the year, I already have these people in place who can affect the entertainment industry as well as the educationalist industry. So that's my vision.
I love that. I love that. And especially when you were talking about the curriculum and introducing the entrepreneurial aspect to it. That's something that you can work on right now, right? So, with that, what would that curriculum look like? What aspect, and you don't have to answer right now if you don't want to, but just to give you a little food for thought, you know, what would that curriculum look like? What information would be relayed? And of course, how would it be, which I know it would be beneficial, but to actually write out how it would be beneficial to introduce this. Um, One thing that you can start doing is I know you have a particular GPT, right? So it's my Help Me Teach GPT. So anytime you're thinking of some type of curriculum with that, start plugging away and getting ideas on what that will look like. Once you get a curriculum that you're happy with, right? That you feel will be beneficial, then create that proposal to start introducing it into schools, introducing it into community centers, you know, as a resource for these individuals to utilize. When it comes to your advertising, you know, start looking at ways that if that's a service that you offer right now, what else can you offer along with it? What other services can you offer along with it that will start building up and gaining momentum, for returning or new customers to start drawing in that attention to that aspect. When it comes to entertainment, I already know you got that on lock, Mr. Suno. So, but it's so important that one thing about our business is that we can literally incorporate everything that we love to do within it and do it in a way where it makes sense. So a lot of us are in this space because we're creatives, right? We're attracted to the art and or the technology of AI right now. So that's why we're here. Now, along with that being a tool, start identifying the other gifts and skill sets that you have that you can put forth into your business that will assist it in growing. So, like you said, you like the entertainment industry. Well, you're already working towards that because you're working in Suno, you're constantly in that producing type of environment, that creative environment, and you know what you want it to look like for you. So I would say the next step is, you know, I love that you said everything out loud, but start writing that stuff down on paper. And when you start writing it down on paper, you'll be surprised at how you can find the sub action steps or identify the action steps that you would have to take to achieve said goal for 2025. So thank you for that, Dean. I appreciate it. T put in the chat that she would like to see our business double the audience and profit, to continue teaching and learning. Her vision is to continue helping small businesses reach their goals. Quarter 1, we will continue to teach AI systems and focus on helping family and friends to understand how important AI is in their life and not to be scared of it. And that's all. That's a wonderful goal. I know I'm actually, because we're in this community and we're talking about AI constantly and the new technologies and nuances that come with it. Once we step out of our bubble that we've created, right? We I'm surprised at how many people just don't know AI, or if they know AI, they may not know how extensive you can get with this tool. So that creates um that creates an audience there, because you're introducing a new technique or service that could be assisting. I know for me, um, I want to grow my business consulting uh, portion of the business. So I want to start working with companies that are a little bit larger, mainly because that's the background that I come from. And I have no problem working with the companies. I just don't want to work in the companies anymore. So my mindset has completely shifted. So now, the help that I would have provided as a quote unquote employee, now you're going to pay me the consultation fee because I'm here to assist you in helping streamline either a process, understand communication, identify matters in your business that may be outdated, given the new things that are available. So I want to start expanding, like I said, my consulting. And the impact that I want to have with that is, I know what it's like to um, be in a corporate world and not necessarily be one of the higher up, fishes in the sea. And I've seen the frustration of staff members, the lack of communication, the feeling that they're not being heard or felt, and also seeing the other side of management trying to figure out how to, resolve issues and matters and things like that. A lot of time I was a point person between the two. So being in that position corporately, it helps me identify things a little bit easier and just be like, hey, doo let me help you out with something. So um, I definitely want to expand my services with that. And then, of course, my coaching. So my coach, I love coaching. I love coaching. Um, to see the growth in people and, you know, to see them identify their greatness and their strengths within. As a coach, that's like giving the best Christmas present to me. As a teacher, seeing the light bulb go off, when someone finally understands something that may have been a little complex to them or a little confusing to them at first. So overall, I will continuously help people and resolve pain points. It's just how that format is going to look and how different it's going to look in 2025 versus how we're wrapping up this year. So you always want to make sure, even if your progression to you may seem small or slow, the fact that you're still going and pushing is the biggest success. right? Because you don't stop, you haven't quit. And with this particular class, now you're going to be able to identify the goals that you want to accomplish. And once you identify those and get them in the front of your mind, steadfast on it and attack it because you got this. It may be a little unnerving, it may be a little, shaky. And if that's the case, I'm here. I know other people in our community are here to assist you. Um, so definitely feel free to reach out. Okay. Anybody else like to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
I still work full time and my business is just starting up. I've worked a number of years as a contract worker. So with AI coming in, I just really got into AI this year, probably June.
Nice.
Um, so where my focus was on coaching
Mhm.
and financial literacy, I'm still focused there, but now I'm seeing how AI can really enhance that. But the last few years, I've been working my way out of the job. So now, with my first two little small AI certifications, I've made that public at work and started to solve some problems, but careful not to give them too much for
Right.
free.
Of course.
And I work for a pharmaceutical company. So they're like real skittish about, how much we can take in. And it's still very gray area.
Hmm.
Um, but I have been inserting it carefully at work and making it known. So even as you spoke, I was thinking, maybe my focus is, on the wrong area because now seeing how I can use the tool and just using my experience over the years in pharma, and then I've been contracting in the insurance and securities field. So I've been seeing how I can, use it over there on that side. Just starting my first little GPT, sending it out there, getting some feedback. I feel like I probably should be focusing more on some of the smaller businesses, introducing the AI, showing the smaller businesses, the solopreneurs, how they can use it.
Hmm.
But I definitely one of the main things I must do for the first quarter is make my online presence known and grow that. That's been a weak spot for me all along, even with my contracting business. I have, really been hiding there. So I'm grateful for this community. Um, I guess I've been here, I don't know if it's been 2 weeks since Thanksgiving. Um, when I came in here, and this has been really helpful for me. Um, I am creative as far as crafting and doing things like that, but being in this space with all these creatives here um, is generating all of the creativity, bringing that part out in me that I really, didn't feel like I had a strength in, but it's
Hmm.
coming up in different ways. And I'm big on the AI. The technical part is that's what really drew me in, but just being in this space for these last 2 weeks,
Hmm.
all the creative stuff. So I just really need to sit down and think a little more on this, but not sit too much. Just especially in this here environment where you guys have shared so many things that I have sat down and recreated or whatever. Just put myself out there. Um, is the number one goal even before Q1 starts. Before December 31st, get all of because I've paid for website stuff and I still don't that part I don't have it all right and worried about security. I'm paying for stuff that I'm not using, so that's a must for Q1. Make
Gotcha.
my online presence known, get my websites up and going. But strong focus on the coaching, teaching. I just think my audience, where I had my focus on one audience, it may need to shift, especially for me to transition from my job a little faster.
Gotcha. Okay.
And being in this space, I've learned that I probably know a lot more than what I claim to know, especially using AI as a tool. So that's what I've gotten that's what I've received here so far in these last 2 weeks. And then just looking at this, I do need to sit down with it some more, but those are things that I must do. And as far as by the end of 2025, I see for my business, at least because I'm doing this all alone, seeing what does my team look like, growing my team, whether that means a virtual assistant, partnering with someone, contractors or whatever. Um, that's what I'm envisioning for the end of 2025.
I love it. I love it. So, Denise, my question would be to you. When it comes to putting yourself out there, where would you say your bottleneck is? What is the point that stops you from pushing yourself out?
Just limits, I would say one, limiting beliefs.
Okay.
But I do know that, like, say with a financial literacy, I've gone out in just recent months, there's some financial literacy workshops outside of the company that I contract with,
Mm-hmm.
just on my own. And I really enjoyed it. I got great feedback from it. Someone told me over the weekend not to use the term that I'm an introvert, because when I'm in my element, I'm not introverted. I come out. If I'm going to be totally honest, um, there's a part of me this working to make not a choice but a decision on what does my business look like, what does my life look like for the next quarter, the next year. There's some parts of me that I put on hold. I've been married almost 13 years, and I moved to an area that wasn't my preference, and I kind of shrank away even more. I had been single mom, single, my kids were grown when I got married. And when I got married, my world shrunk in, and I just kind of yielded to everybody else to make everybody else happy. And I'm at a space and place where I can no longer stay where I'm working. I do not want to work even another position in another company doing what I'm doing. That's not acceptable. And I'm at a space and place in my life where it's time for me to stop surviving and just thrive. I was a teen mom, and I just worked and worked and worked to do stuff to give my kids what they need. And they're grateful, they're grown. And they said they never felt like they missed out on anything. But here I am, a grandmother, and it's really, really important to me to leave a legacy behind to them. And the people that I work with, the people that I come in contact from day to day, who pour into me, who rely on me, who look up to me, I feel like it's selfish of me not to step up and do what God has given me to do. I have an assignment to carry out. So it's just really selfish of me to sit back and make excuses, because the thing that I'm doing is the thing I tell other people not to do. So it's time for me to do as I say, um, be the role model. But I don't mean to get emotional, but if I'm really, really honest, I do believe all the other stuff is more of excuses, because as the single woman, the single mom, I was out doing whatever it had to take, whatever hours, whatever. And I didn't think about it. I stepped into marriage with some expectations, didn't go quite the way I wanted it. And I kind of shrank away, some from embarrassment, some from disappointment in myself, sometimes in anger of, why should I do all these things and somebody else benefit if they're not meeting me half of the way? So that's just me being brutally honest.
Well, I thank you for your transparency. And I know that being vulnerable at times can be a lot. It can be a lot. Um, but I will say this, tonight you took the first step with that. You took the first step. You know, you already know what it is that needs to be done. And I think that, classes like this or even a coach or something like that may assist you in pulling it out a little bit more. And you have to rebuild the relationship with yourself again of trust, because I heard everything you're saying, but I was also listening. Okay, so I'm gonna let you know a little bit about me. um, I'm a little different. Um, I listen to the physical words you guys present, and then I also have the ability to listen to your heart and what that's saying. And as you said, you have the abilities to accomplish the dreams that you want to accomplish, the goals you want to accomplish. And when you have that moment of shrinking in yourself, which we all have done at some point due to some situation at some time, um, a lot of times what happens is we shrink away our dreams and our mindsets and our overall being to try to fit into a presumption of what we should be or what we should be doing, how it should look. You're a mother, it should look this way. You're um, a wife, it should look that way. You're a husband, it should look another way. Like, we literally, with every title that we have on this earth, it takes a piece of us in some form or fashion. And the point that you're at right now is reclaiming those pieces. And, you know, it'll take baby steps at first. Just like the little babies that we had and loved on. We know they had to do the tummy time first, and they started the crawling and then the walking and then running and then driving you crazy all over the house. So when it comes to us and our development within our entrepreneur journey, we're very much like those little infants, right? We got the bright idea. Okay, let's start this business. Let's do it. And then we're hit with the what's next. So what does that look like? How am I supposed to action it? And then a lot of us, we pull on the resources that we know, which is typically companies that we've worked for in the past. But when we do that, I want you guys to start shifting that perspective. So yeah, you pull on that as a reference point, but now being a CEO of your own business, what you didn't like, what unnerved you in those situations or in those circumstances, refocus that on how could you apply it to make it better in this experience you're having now. So the reason that you shrunk yourself down is because your spirit was too big for the situation that you were in. I've been there, and it's very uncomfortable, you know. So now I'm at I'm at the point in my life now. And believe me, it took time and growth. I went to therapy. Like it's been a whole process. Um, but I'm at the point in my life now where I love who I am. And in order for me to love who I am now, you guys get to see the gifts that God bestowed inside of me. So because I was very much like you, I didn't want to put myself out there. I didn't want to be on this camera. My camera would be off. I'll be in the background. I'm like, I'm okay. But then what I started realizing is that literally God started just pulling me to come forward, because I had messages and lessons and, you know, things that were beyond me. And everything that we do in this space, it's not for us. It's not for us. because the products that we create, the services that we provide, the advertisements we make, it's there to assist other people, to provide them with knowledge or insight or breakthroughs even. You know, you spoke about teaching and coaching. That's a breakthrough ministry, you know, and to fully get there, you have to have those breakthroughs within yourself, right? So if I was still in the mindset that I had at 2020, I couldn't be here delivering a message like this to you today. It took me 4 years of growth. It took me 4 years of work on myself to really just start falling in love with me again, you know? And because I I used to go around be like, I love myself, but sometimes I don't like myself. And then I was like, why am I saying that about me? You know, I had to start changing around my mindset. I had to start, you know, feeding in positive thoughts like, you know what, I can do this. And you already proved it to yourself that you could do it with the feedback that you received from the event you held, you know? So we already have all the tools that we need in our tool shed. We just need to know where they go and how to work them, you know? So this right here for you is a really big step because now what you're allowing yourself to do is say, okay, this is what I want to do. And these are the action steps. And you say you had a construction background, right?
No, pharmaceutical and then insurance
Oh, okay.
and securities. You probably heard me say the securities part.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so with all of those positions that you held, they're very technical, you know, making sure the I's are dotted and T's are crossed type of thing. And the funny thing is, you might be surprised. You might have an easy breezy free spirit living on the inside of you. So those I's being dotted and T's are crossed might be confining to you, which is why you feel the way you feel like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I have to think of my what's next because your spirit's like, I remember at my last, not my last job, but one of my last major jobs, I had woke up and one morning and I had just had this overwhelming feeling. I remember I just started crying. And my husband's looking at me like, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you? I said, I don't want to go to work. He goes, well, you know, why not? Are you, yeah, of course, are you feeling okay? I said, babe, there's something bigger inside of me than this job. Like I would come home from work and I would just crash. And my son was young at the time. So it was literally routine. Like, okay, I'm picking you up from mom's. We're doing homework. You already ate at mom. So I really didn't have to cook dinner. I'm like, and I'm going to sleep. Half of the time I pass out still in my work shirt because I was just so exhausted. And when I finally stepped away, I realized I was exhausted because when I was in a place that I wasn't appreciated. And if you're in a spot where you're not appreciated, it doesn't automatically, I don't know why. I think it might be a nature response, but we put forth more effort than we originally did. Like, wait a minute, I'm doing all of this. Like, you don't see it, you don't receive it. But it showed me like I could have put forth all the effort that I wanted, but that's not where I needed to be. So when I left there, my husband and I, we have a real estate investment business. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go full throttle in this. But then I wasn't satisfied with that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really working for anybody anymore. Like, where is my disconnect? Come to find out, I wasn't satisfied with anything that I did because I wasn't satisfied with myself. So I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to really, work on this? Like I have stuff I have to do. Like I'm stuck on a routine like everybody else. I got to get stuff done, 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 done. And I remember I shared this story before. I'll share it again, but I was home. My husband and I were home, and we had a deck on out in the back. And I love standing under the rain. It's something about it. It's just so peaceful. And we had a tent awning over our deck. So I'm like, oh, I can stand out here and I won't get wet. Cool. Type of thing. So I'm just like, you know what? I just need to take a deep breath, just clear my mind. And as I'm standing out there and I'm listening to the rain, I hear a voice, I hear God's voice come in my head, talk about Michelle, what makes you happy? So, of course, my mind just started running off the generic answers. Oh, my kids, my husband, my this, and then it easily corrected me and said, no. What makes you happy that is not attached to anything or anybody else? So I stood there and then I started crying because I had got to a point where I couldn't identify what made me happy because I wasn't practicing it anymore. Now, as a child, I'm a writer, always loved music. I've always had a creative element in me. But when the adult version of me kicked in, I wasn't entertaining those elements anymore. So again, those parts of me were made to be small because I had to be the grown up now. And I thought in my mind that as a grown up, per the perception that we receive, that we're not supposed to do those things like that's not a real job, quote unquote, type of thing. The stigmas that come with working from your creative element. And after I cried, I stood there for another moment, and the voice came back and it goes, now, are you ready to find out what brings you joy? I'm like, wait a minute. Now, how we elevate from happiness to joy? I'm like, can we work on one thing at a time? But the reason that I had to start working towards my joy is because joy is a bigger emotion, bigger feeling than happiness. Happiness is a temporary moment, but joy, that is something that can't nobody take from you. And right now, Denise, you're in the season of finding your joy again. And it's okay. Our businesses are reflections of us. And a lot of times people might say, I don't understand why my business isn't moving. I don't understand why this isn't working. Got to get your mind right. Because the reason that there's a bottleneck is because guess what? You're not actioning on what you need to action on. So it's not saying that you don't want to do it. It's just saying you have to get your mind right and aligned to be able to present what it is that you need to present and how you have to do it. And a lot of times for me, that means I have to take a lot of quiet time. And I've noticed it might be because I'm getting older too, but silence really is golden because I'm a firm believer in God and in a higher power. And I'm like, in order for me to be able to hear you, to receive you, I have to be quiet and listen to you. And with the lifestyle that I had before, I didn't have much time to sit and be still. So I will say, when it comes to putting yourself out there, start small. You don't have to do anything really big and really elaborate. Your first step could be, I don't know, making a business account on Instagram. That's a first step. And then when it comes to your content, If, say, you're creating a product, right? Take and hit your Zoom real quick while you're creating the product. You don't have to record the full thing, but a quick little, hey guys, this is what I'm working on today. It doesn't even have to be live, it could be recorded. Then take and put it into Canva, edit it, and there you go. There goes your content for the day. You know, um, a lot of times we overthink a lot of the things that we have to do. I'm guilty.
I'm listening to you and I don't want to interrupt,
Mhm.
but that's one of my big problems, overthinking things, because as you said, with coaches or whatever, I've spent so much money over the last 4 years or so, probably, since 2020, when folks were home. The nature of my business, I was at work
Gotcha.
around the clock. We were essential workers, and that made me think even more. I've got to get out of this. I don't know what's going on with this pandemic, but I can't do this anymore. I was working my way out before, 2020, and then it was like I got scared, like, okay, just stay put at the moment. But yeah, even those small steps, I shouldn't let myself off the hook with such a small step, because I have too many tools here and for too many programs that I've paid for, that before December 31st, so I can go into the first quarter strong. That's why I said that my online presence is the focus for the first quarter, but I need to do the pre-work
Mhm.
these next, what do we have? The next 20 days, because I'm not counting New Year's Eve, the next 20 days to get that all out there. It's just me moving aside from my little feelings and just doing it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's not being, for me not to be selfish. And my daughter shared with me, and I think that was one of the motivating factors for me also a week ago, um, a concern about me. A friend of hers, the mother-in-law, passed away, and they thought everything was okay with her. She was the go-to person in the family. And my baby daughter, she broke down. She's like, Mom, I've only known you to be this way, to just go, 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 go. And since I'm married, uh, some things have changed, slowed down some, but her fear is that I will be gone and not live out my dreams, not go live because I'm just working
Mhm.
for everyone. And that I took that to heart. That I've been going over that for the last week, saying I must do something, because I definitely don't want to go without doing the things that God has assigned me to do, because I decided to shrink back and then my time is up.
Right.
So I appreciate you sharing that, because my daughter did share that, and that was a tough spot for her, because she went away, her and a boyfriend, and I kept the kids for 5 days before the Alicia and Lorette's the summit, and I was preparing, and my equipment went bad. And then once I got my chance to speak, I was really looking forward to this, and everything just went south in the middle of before the night before, equipment messed up or whatever. And then in the middle of the presentation, the latency on the computer was like so bad, I was afraid to touch any buttons because already couldn't hear me. So I unsnapped, pulled the cords off of the monitor, whatever. Then the time was up. And then she's like, Mom, it's like 3-4 days later, you're still talking about this. And I'm like, you didn't understand. That was a huge moment for me. It wasn't about the rest of the world. It was a huge moment for me to stop making excuses and go before not just a small Zoom, but a world platform. That was huge for me, to step outside of myself
Mhm.
to do that. But at the end of the day, I told her I'm talking about it because I need to process it. I was happy that I went through with it, because Jody Ann called and said, "Can you go on a half hour early?" Somebody, decided to, you know, uh, cancel out. And part of me wanted to just say, if I can't do it and do it just right, I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
But I told too many people that I was doing this, people who look up to me. And I felt like the platform that I was going on, Alicia and Lorette just poured so much into us, and it was a big opportunity, and sometimes you prepare for it and you do your best, and it still doesn't come out right, and you don't get the results that you want. So at the end of the day, I was happy that I did it, because I needed to step out of my comfort zone on a much larger platform. And I have been doing that over the last 2 years, like putting myself in some places and spaces that I knew no one. And I felt like
Mm-hmm.
totally unqualified to be in those circles, but I did it. So this one was big as far as stepping out on a social media platform, because now it's forcing me to put up the social media pieces. Still behind with it, but it will happen before December 30th is over. I will get all of that up. So I do appreciate the coaching there. You're right on point with everything you said. Um, it's just that when you asked the question, I didn't want to waste my time or your time, because we're talking about going into the next step, to not be real with myself. Because you don't even know me, not be real with myself to say what's really going on with me. Because once I breathe it, then I can deal with it. It's out. I'm not holding it in anymore. So I thank you for taking the time to even listen, but to coach me there as well. Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. There's some people in here that know that that's genuinely just my character. It's genuinely just my character. Um, I say one of my special talents and my superpower is speaking life into people. And I thank you, Lena. Um, I do that uh, mainly because of my background, right? So I was blessed to have been raised in a beautiful household with my parents. Now, did we struggle? And of course, we're human. But I used to tease my parents that I'm leaving this house because they love me too much. um, and as a kid, I was like, you know what, y'all just get on my nerve. Y'all just own me type thing. But then as I became a teenager and I met my friends that came from different backgrounds that may not have been so blessed in certain ways or certain areas because God needed them, in a different way. My parents were always the ones to open the doors to my friends. My house was always the safe house, you know, and watching that growing up, I'm like, and I would see the response. And then it got to a point where I would tease my parents. I'm like, my friends aren't here to see me. They're just here to see y'all. Like, I just want to let you know. Um, and then even Kristen's like, I'm adopting your mom. Okay. That it is, you know, I know and I identify how much of a blessing my parents were and what they bred into me. And for me to hold all of that in and not share it with any of you guys, it's a complete disservice. So I thank you for sharing your story and providing this space so I can speak love and life into you. Okay. So that's just me. That's just me in a nutshell. Um, Anybody else would like to share?
I just want to say that thank you for one, for sharing your story, but two, I will tell you, I have been coached by Miss Michelle, and she is one of the most genuine, loving, supportive, all the kind words you can think of.
Don't you make me cry.
Um, she has given me hope where there wasn't hope. She's given me a good kick in the behind when I have thought that I'm not worthy enough. She's been there when I have needed someone and had no one. So when she says that she can speak to you in a way that nobody else can, and that she has a special gift. That is not a lie, because she definitely gives you hope. So I just wanted to let you know that I firsthand have seen and witnessed and have had the kindness of her. And yes, I also adopted Mama Weaver. So ha.
Those papers should be coming in the mail soon, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you.
You're welcome, babe.
Yeah, that a lot of people they say that feelings don't belong in business, right? And for the most part, they're right. Because when you think of business, business is technical. It's the bottom line. That is the I dotted T's crossed mindset. But when you are the dream builder that we all are, because that's what we are, we're the CEO dream builders, right? Of our vision. We can't help but feel those feelings. And like I said, when it comes to business, it will challenge parts of you that you did think you overcame or that you've suppressed. It will bring it right here to you. And when those moments occur, we're human. So we're going to have those experiences. And one thing I will say is yes, business has no place for feelings. However, you're still human and you have to feel what you feel in order to process it. So, one second. What I was saying before is when the feelings come up, when the emotions come up, acknowledge it. Acknowledge how you feel. Give yourself space and grace to feel it because you have to. Let it run its course, but don't stay there. You give yourself that grace, feel what you feel. It might take an hour, it might take a day, it might take a few days to get out of it. But the key is getting out of it. Because once you put in your mind that there is something bigger that you're working towards, it's a little bit easier to fight through those feelings, to fight through those limiting beliefs, that self-doubt, that fear, anxiety. And I've dealt with them all. all the feelings, and I still deal with them every now and then. Before classes, I still get a little anxious. I still get nervous. It never goes anywhere. My voice is a little shaky until I get in my groove, and then I'm like, okay, y'all, hi, I'm here now. But that just goes to remind me that I am human, that I myself am not AI. And it's okay. It's okay. So thank you for that. We needed that mindset moment. We needed that. All right. Before I move on, would anybody else like to share anything? All good. All right. So the next is our vision statement. So here it pretty much gives you just a little template that you can use. So our vision is to achieve. So what do you want to achieve? Or what do you want to solve for your business? And then give yourself a date. So right now we're focusing on the end of 2025. So my vision is to achieve or solve by the end of the year of next year. Um, for me, mine is more so on a personal uh, mindset, and it's just achieving more knowledge in regards that this is my personal vision statement, but to achieve more knowledge in the coaching realm so that I can better service the individuals that I work with. That's one of mine. So, you guys can take a second if you don't already have it in your mind, and think about it, and then we can go into that. So, I'll give about a couple minutes. So, would anybody like to share what they came up with? Or are you guys still marinating?
Do we just speak it?
Mm-hmm. Robin,
Okay.
thank you. That's fine. Go ahead, Kristen.
What my vision is for the end of 2025 is to completely I, I know how I want to say it, but I don't want it to sound bad. um I want to completely be able to run my business by myself. I want to know the stuff that I need to know to effectively run everything without hiccups, so to speak. I mean, I know there's going to be hiccups, but I want to be able to solve those hiccups without it taking me 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks and having to learn something to be able to fix the issue. There's nothing wrong with learning and continuing your education and learning new things. Nothing wrong with that because that's, I like to do that. But I want to be able to run my little business effectively without anybody's help outside of my family. I want to be able to mindset. I want the mindset to be there. I want everything to be in a little box, so to speak. That's how I envision it. I know that there's going to be issues and things that have to be fixed and everything else like that. But I want it to be not so difficult, and I want to have everything in place, whether it be automation or having some help or whatever it is. But I want it all to be, I want it all to be easier
Gotcha.
and not so hard like it has been, if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
It does. Um, so what I would say is right now you are in the process of building your business's foundation, right? So what that looks like is identifying those, like I said before, those bottlenecks or those hiccups that we have that takes your time away from working on your business rather than working in your business. Because remember, those are two different mindsets. So when you're working in your business, think of it from an employee perspective, right? Right now we're all solopreneurs, so we have to do both. We have to work in because we're the ones that's producing. We're the ones that's putting everything forward. And then when we step back and work on our business, it starts with the questions, okay, how can I make this easier for me? So, like you said, there are things that may need automating in your business. There may need be things that, you need that automation to assist with maybe emails or, communications, wherever it may be. Um, So what I would tell you is to step back from being in it for a second and look at what needs to be worked on. So where are those issues popping up at? And then also, is it a reoccurring issue? Because if it's a reoccurring issue, then that's something that you would action on immediately to try to resolve, to get a better understanding of how you can smooth a particular process out. So,
I, I agree with you there. I do, because you and I have talked before. So what I'm doing now is taking some of those actions that we've spoke about and like you spoke tonight, and I'm putting them in play now. And that is why I'm taking a small break from everything. I'm still here, but I'm trying to focus more on the completing of the projects or the automations or whatever it is that I need to do to make it smoother on me. My business was going really well back before my husband had quadruple bypass surgery, and he had no job for a while, because I was able to sustain us with my business. And so once all that happened, like on February the 13th of October of last year, my whole entire life just stopped within an hour of going to the doctor with him. And so I had to be an entrepreneur and still do my business, but take care of him and still do what I'm doing with the family and everything. So it all stopped. And then I had to step back and let that all go, and getting it back up and running like a wheel, a well-tuned wheel with oil is a little bit harder. So I totally take what you say, and I'm processing everything, because I'll be honest with you, I'm right now, which is very odd. It's 8:30 where I'm at, and I'm in bed. Okay? Um because I have decided that I'm going to take some time for me and process what I need and read and learn and take everything in, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm taking it and I'm trying to rebuild like I want to. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
gotcha. Sorry about that. I got invaded again. Um, but yeah, I mean, with you going through that, one thing that I can say, ooh, okay, is your mindset. Your mindset is still focused on what you used to be able to do in a way, because you have the abilities, right? You did all this before. However, you were detoured because life came in. Now, it's the fact that you're still capable of producing these things, but the format is different. So you are now you're identifying what your new norm in your business operations are. You know, after everything has happened, sometimes when we return back, we're not going to be the same we were when we left a particular spot, right? And I think right now it's readjusting, doing some fine tuning in certain places. and in certain areas of the business. Um, and I obviously, like, I know you and I are gonna work on that, but that's what I'm feeling right now. It's finding the new version of the business mogul that's inside of you now. Because like you said, you had that occurrence happen, so you are not the same person that you were before. So now in the current, it's finding your flow again. And that may mean you may not operate the same way you did prior, but it doesn't mean that you can't. It just may look different in the way that.
And you're exactly right. Yes, I totally agree with you. It's not the same as it was. And it's so weird how you hit that on the head. So weird because it's not the same as it was. It's different now. It's still very doable, but it's doable in a different way. And exactly what you said. So, wow, sometimes you just scare me with your knowledge.
I tell you all the time, it ain't just me. You as I do that all. It's that person up there.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. I agree.
Um, but yeah. So now me and you are gonna work on learning what that refocus looks like, and identifying it and what works best for you. So I think
Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Robin put in the chat, our vision is to achieve financial independence and establish a trusted creative brand by December 2025. Robin, I love that. I love that. Um, I don't know if you're able to, but would you mind hopping on the mic and talking about that a little bit more? And that's if you can. If you can, I completely understand. Okay. She's going to see if her mic works.
Okay.
Oh, there you
Okay, good. Um, so I know for me, I have been very, very scared to build a business where I can um just have my own business, kind of like what Kristen was just saying. I have, relied on my 9 to 5 for my income because I I didn't want to put myself out there, and I didn't want to put myself out there and fail, and then I don't have income, and it's a scary place. But I'm thinking if I can build a brand that is trusted and people can say, wow, we really love what she's doing. She's really out here giving us what we need, then I can just grow from there. So that's what I'm thinking. I need to start there because I don't have a foundation yet. I don't have that. And I've been doing things, grabbing at things for years, grabbing at things, doing this, doing drop shipping, doing reselling, doing this, doing that. And did I enjoy it? Sure. But did I find my happiness in it? No. But I find I did find my happiness in creating and producing and rendering images. And I just want to share that with the world. But then in my voice, the voices in my head said, well, who wants it though? Like everyone's out there doing that. Who's gonna want yours? What's so different about you? But I just gotta work on that. So a lot of mindset work, a lot of building a business where people say, okay, we trust you and what you're doing. So that's where I'm at. I
Got it.
hope that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And so I'm a challenge you right now. When you hear those voices, right? That negative talk, does it sound like you talking to yourself? Are those the words that you would feed yourself?
Yeah, I do a lot of negative talk to myself, and I've been working on it, but these are things I've heard over time. So it's hard to get out of, the negativity because I would hear, you're not good enough in this, you can't do this. I remember like going for a cheer team one time, and my mom, who loves me, she loves me, but she was like, you're not going to make it on that cheer team because they don't want Black girls.
Mm.
She's like, yeah, that's not going to be for you, because it was mostly like preppy women, preppy girls. And my mom's like, yeah, that's not going to be you. Did I make it on the chair team? Yes, because I did try out. I made it on the chair team. But it was just those type of things, because I think I've just been around anxious people most of my life. So I carry a lot of that anxiety myself. But yeah, I do.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I will say this. Um, so when those negative voices come, because they even try to sneak in with me too, I honestly tell them to shut up. I do. Um, because sometimes we have to, again, there goes that silence. We have to tell ourselves to be quiet because those negative feelings, they're not ours. You just stated, one of them was fed from your mom. And I mean, it's a given. Mom is going to worry about you, make sure that it's, the best for their baby, etc. But what our parents don't realize sometimes, and even us as being a parent, is that when they speak doubt
Mm-hmm.
into you, it may not be intentional, but
No.
it's very factual to you because this is coming from a person of authority out of love for you. So, especially as a child, our mindset is, why would they say anything to hurt me? They would want to protect me and
Mm-hmm.
defend.
Yep.
But it's the language that's used because you have to think too. If your mom speaks anxiety or your tribe around you speaks from a place of anxiety, and that's what's spreading. That's what's growing is your anxiety. Now, when you start switching that language to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it is the most impactful thing that you can do because we're literally at a point in our lives where we have to retrain ourselves,
Yeah.
how we
Yeah.
talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm speaking from a point of my own experience, I would get now good and well they don't want that. They don't want to hear that. And this is my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Uh-uh. I had got to a point where I was tired of being scared of not trying.
Right.
So, in order for me to push myself, I had to start speaking positive into myself. When I would hear the voice say, "Oh, well, you can't do that," says who?
Mm-hmm.
And then the voice would get quiet. I wouldn't hear when you rebuttal it, you'd be surprised how silent it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
more positivity that you start feeding into yourself, the more, love you start feeding into yourself, the more self acceptance you start feeding into yourself, it begins to flourish into something beautiful. So,
Yeah. I
with those
agree.
beautiful pieces you've created, put some positive affirmations on them and put up some wall art in your house
That's a good idea.
because
Yeah.
that's your reminder. Look at what I did. Right? Because we have to show it to ourselves. We have to prove to us that we can do it. We already
Mm-hmm.
know we can, but we have to provide that proof. So I would say I would love to see your art because if it's as beautiful as that picture that you have up, I'm gonna see it. Yeah.
I love creating, I love rendering art. I just feel like it's just coming from me. And I've been a creative, like music, art. And the thing I love about Midjourney and Dolly is I feel as though I was never the best artist. So since I can take my words and create what I'm feeling, that to me is powerful.
Mhm.
So yeah, I that's why I enjoy it so much. And music, art, it just helps people, you know. You could be going through something, you hear someone play some music or you see a piece of art and it can just change the whole atmosphere. And that's what I want my art to do, just change the atmosphere for people. Um, I do a lot of I know like whimsical, um, sometimes chibi-ish art, cutesy art, just because, like I said, for me, is to get someone to feel good about what they're seeing or just what's put in front of them and just to change the whole mindset. And I think it's because that's where I'm at. I just need to change my whole mindset. And that right there is a great idea. I do need to put some art up so that I want to do this for other people, but I'm not even doing it for myself.
There you go.
So yeah, I need to start there, just displaying some of my own art.
Yep. That's one of those baby steps.
Yeah, yeah.
You got it. Y'all got this. Y'all do. Y'all really have no idea how much y'all got this. Y'all really do have it. You have it.
Yes, you gotta release the art. I know, I know.
I know Kristen had her hand up. It's been popping up and down while you've been talking.
Mhm. Oh, girl, if I could just tell you something, give me 2 minutes, and I want to tell you something. When you spoke, it was like there was a dart pointed directly at me.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
Mm.
Like 100%. So, what I'm going to propose to you, Miss Robin, is this. Go online. Or how many followers do you have on TikTok? Or,
What do I have right now? I think I have almost maybe 4K.
oh my goodness. You have. Do you go live?
Not like I should.
Okay.
No.
Go live and just create. Don't show your face. Don't have to have a big setup. All you have to do is have your camera in front of your screen, go live for 90 minutes or an hour or whatever that you can handle, and just create art with a little bit of background music. When people come in, say, hey, this is my relaxed time. If you want to have a conversation with them, have conversation. But that's how, and that's how I did it. Okay. So, and I still feel uncomfortable because it's taken me 3 years to be able to be in front of the camera.
Mhm.
Um, so if you ever need a partner to go live with, or just to have a conversation back and forth, or just a working thing, Michelle and I do it a lot. Some other people do it in DCT. If you just ever need someone to go live with you, and just chill out and just create art, have a conversation. I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to be there. I know that it's hard and you might feel uncomfortable and you just, but just go and create your art and let people see it. And once they see it, they're going to want it. And whether you think, because it's a mind thing and I have the same thing, I always think, just like I did a thing with Michelle today, a class. And I'm like, Michelle, they're not going to want my chibis. Everybody makes chibis, you know?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I still did the class with her and I still showed my prompt guide. And like I told her, it felt good to be able to show somebody my work. And it was a different mindset after I left the class, the call, than it was going in.
Mhm.
So just to go and release the art and get it out there and let people see it. And then people, once they start seeing it, they're going to want it. They really will. And then you're going to be able to start your foundation. And who cares if someone else creates like you? Nobody is you.
Right.
Nobody can create what you're creating because AI does not allow you to create exact duplicates. So yours is special just like someone else is special.
Yeah. I
And
love that.
that picture is really nice. So you need to release your art.
I will do it. I will. I will. And that's a great idea. Thank you so much for that. I would love to go on live sometime with you.
Okay,
Uh,
that's cool. Anytime you want, if you want, you can add me in DCT or connect with me in DCT. I'm also on TikTok on Digital DreamWorks. That's who I am. So
okay.
either way, just go ahead and if you can't get a hold of me that way, you can definitely get a hold of Michelle, and she has a direct line to me. So whatever you want to do is good with me. Okay, hun?
Sounds great. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome.
I love this. It just makes me so happy. Moments like that make me so happy. Um, but yeah, Robin, you got this. You do. You do. We all do. All right. The last thing on this page is Q1 focus. So in this quarter, we aim to provide a specific focus. And I think for most of us, we've done that already with building out what it is we want our business to look like, and what we want to achieve overall for this year. So in this particular one, it's just picking one specific focus. So for Q1, what is the one thing that you definitely want to focus on? So it could be, getting in front of the camera. It could be releasing your art. It could simply be setting up, your store. So whether it's an Etsy store or something on Beacon, Stand Store, Shopify, but what is your one specific focus for 2020, for quarter one? I'll give you guys a minute with that. All right. Anybody like to share their specific focus for Q1? You guys still marinating on it? All right. So setting up my store the right way and being consistent online by going live weekly. I like that. That was from Robin. I like that. And when you do say weekly, it doesn't have to be, of course, every day weekly. You could pick maybe 1 or 2 days out the week. These are my live days. But as long as you stay consistent with it. One thing so in the beginning, an exercise that I used to help me get comfortable with being in front of the camera was I would literally sit at my laptop. I would turn my Zoom on. I would prepare a lesson and I would just go through it. I would record and just go through it, and that was my practicing on just getting comfortable to be out front, to see my own face. Because you'd be surprised. Sometimes we just don't want to see ourselves. Yay, Krista got on camera. I see that little face sneaking in. But yeah, those are the little things you have to think. Just like singers, actors, they all rehearse. They all practice. Athletes, same thing. They all train. We're doing the same thing. Even though we may not be running laps and getting gold medals and all that other stuff, at least not yet. We are training ourselves for success in our business. So I love the being consistent online. And Robin, I'm gonna mess with you. You might as well go ahead and drop your social handle so I can know when I need to be looking out for them lives. Okay. And another practice I did is I had to push myself to just say, okay, I'm doing this in the community. I had to push myself out there. And what that did for me, I don't like letting people down. So that made me be accountable. Okay, Michelle, you said you're going to have a class. You better show up for this class. I don't care if you're nervous. I don't care if you're tired. You didn't schedule it. You're going to do it. But yeah, I would say whatever action or part of your business that makes you nervous, practice. Practice. Public speaking, practice. Creating content for your business, practice. You really don't. Okay. Thank you, Robin. I'm going to be on that. So I'm going to be looking out for you. She dropped her TikTok handle in the chat. But I will definitely say practice on those areas, within the community that we're in, tap on one of us. One of the coaches, Kristen, and there's a whole bunch of other community members that are looking to just help because we're all in the same space of learning. We might be at different calibers, but we're all trying to figure this thing out. So, my specific focus, I'm still working on that actually. I'm not quite sure yet. Um, hmm, the one thing that I want to focus on, oh, there we go. My one focus for Q1 is researching how I can expand and develop my business consulting. So that's my one focus. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, so this is also an interactive slide, but I went ahead and got together a quick little workbook for you guys that you can work on your leisure. So we went because I see that it is getting late and I got a little one that doesn't want to leave me alone. So this is another activity for you guys. So one is reflection. Step one, why does your business exist? Why did you create it? Was it because initially it may have been the concept of, oh, this is, just extra income? Or is it something bigger? So, why does your business exist? The next question is, what principles and values guide your action? So, in layman's terms, why do you do what you do? Why did you decide to do it? All right. Next is your mission statement. So, your mission statement is to disclose the purpose, how you're going to do it, the method, and what guides you. So, what are your values that you hold dear that guides you to do it? So, an example says, our mission this quarter is to insert in a specific goal while staying true to core values. So, those specific goals, again, those are the things you want to work on in Q1. Those are the things you want to start focusing on. And how does it, making sure that those goals align and resonate with the message and branding that you're putting forth for your business, right? And then share your statement. So refine your mission statement and share them with your village. Let them know what, that's a typo, your purpose is for 2025. So one thing I love about the mission statement as I further started to understand it, like I said before, it's your compass. Where are you going and how are you getting there? Just like we hop in our cars and travel to our next destination, now we have to hop in our business car and see what our next destination is for that. What does our next level look like? For some of us, it's building the foundation. So, what parts of it do you want to take and add into it? All right. So let me go ahead and go to the next slide. And like I said, I will give you guys the digital download for this once we wrap up. So this is where everything pretty much comes together. Aligning your vision, your mission, and your goals. So the first box we have, why alignment matters, is to ensure that every action supports your larger objectives. So, case in point, if you are a mechanic, I don't think one of your goals should be to open a bakery. Okay. Make sure that your goals are aligning with what it is that you want to accomplish within your business. Okay. So, one way to help us create our goals is using the SMART goal criteria. So, SMART is an acronym. Some may have heard it, some may have not, but I'll go over it. So, specific. What is the specific thing that you would like to work on? Okay. Nothing too far-fetched, something that you can actually be a focal point for Q1. All right. Measurable. Make sure that it is something that you can keep track of your progress. Okay. So you have your overarching goal. Measurable is your action, those action steps, making sure, okay, well, I want to work on content creation. So what does that look like? Well, if you don't have a social media platform, first step is opening up a social media site, right? If you have a social media platform, but you don't have a business page, open up a business page for it. Okay. Achievable. So I don't want you guys to make these goals so big to a point that they're almost impossible to obtain. These are micro doses that we're doing. So you have your overarching goal, you have your measurable steps, and then make sure that those steps are stuff that you can accomplish, right? Next is relevant. This goes back to the alignment. So making sure that is relevant to your overall view on what you want to work on. Time bound. Give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a timeline and hold yourself accountable to putting these actions in motion to better your business and to better yourself. If you need an accountability partner, again, feel free to reach out. Okay. So below is an example of what all of this would look like. So the vision statement is be a leader in eco-friendly products. Okay. Mission to provide sustainable, affordable home goods. So for Q1, launch our first product line and secure 50 orders by March 31st. It is specific on what they want to do, what they want to work on. It is measurable because they're noting exactly how much they're looking to sell. It's achievable because they did not put too much on themselves. It's especially for their first product line, right? Relevant. Well, it's definitely relevant to their business because they say their vision is to create eco-friendly products. So it still aligns. And time bound. They gave themselves that timeline of March 31st. So by the end of Q1, they should have achieved, if not superseded, depending on, their metrics and things like that, their goal. So this is an example of what I mean by a SMART goal. Because underneath goal 1, you can sit there and break down exactly how you're going to accomplish it. And I will say, if you have or come up against a roadblock, ask Chatty. Use Chatty as a resource. Okay. All right. There we go. So this is another interactive activity of writing out your SMART goals. And like I said, since we're getting a little pushed on time right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and go over it, and I'll give you guys the download in a minute. So reflect on vision and mission. Consider actions to take this quarter to make progress. Okay. SMART example. And they break it down from that previous example. So the specific is secure 50 orders. The measurable, they will then track weekly sales. All right. The achievable is focus on pre-launch efforts and target audience. Relevant, it aligns with our eco-friendly product mission. Time bound, achieved by the March 31st. Okay. So they took that one main goal and broke it down on how they're going to achieve it. And that's what I want you guys to do for yourselves. So, like I said, this is a 3-night series. So tonight, or sometime tomorrow when you have time, come up with 2 to 3 SMART goals for your quarter one. So from what you shared here in class, take that and literally just sit down and take time to develop how what you want to achieve can be turned into SMART goals so you can put the action for it. All right. So we have gotten to the wrap up, y'all. All right. So the key takeaways. Understanding that your vision defines direction. It defines the direction that you want to take your business in. Your mission is your purpose. Why do you want to take your business there? Why do you want to do the things you want to do within your company? Your SMART goals is like your GPS to accomplish that. Okay. Again, homework. So if you haven't, finalize your vision and mission statements that we were working on earlier, and also write 2 to 3 SMART goals for quarter one for your business. Reflection. Consider how your vision, mission, and goals will guide your decisions. So, understanding that I'm going to say something about vision statements and mission statements. As you evolve, they too will evolve, personally and for your business. They will evolve with you. Okay, so always definitely just take a moment to take it all in because it's a lot. So remember that silence is needed. All right, so share your takeaway, share your top takeaway from this session. And so we can go over that in a moment. And of course, I want to say thank you. Thank you, guys. This has really been a really great, engaging class. I love hearing you guys just start getting those light bulb moments, and I can't wait to see what y'all create. I swear. I just love it. I just love it. So let me go ahead, stop my share really quick. Kristen, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just said that you have me so inspired. I'm going to go make cheese and mice. I love you. Goodbye.
I do. She is so silly. Oh, goodness. I hope all of you have been inspired by this. How was your experience with the class?
Amazing. I'm just real quiet, but I'm amazed.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, so let me get.
Mine was fantastic. Thank you for the time, and thank you for the downloads there as well.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
I can't wait to see all of the art released from everybody,
Mm-hmm.
even my mice and cheese. I'll even show that. And just to let you guys in on the secret, I told Michelle, I said, I'm going to sit here I'm going to be like a mouse eating my cheese.
Just
But,
taking it all in.
yep, just taking it all in. Thank you for everything, everybody. And I'm so glad you guys are here. It's really awesome to meet different people and to learn different things. So it was extremely informational and helpful. And yeah, all that good stuff. Shut up, Kristen. Goodbye.
Thank you, Michelle. You shared some great ideas. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome. You are welcome. I love it. You know, as long as I get those wheels turning in y'all head, I know I did my job. And I could tell from the smiles and the feedback, I did my job tonight. so so I did put the PDF in the chat. So you guys definitely grab that. And basically it's those questions that we were asking through the presentation, you know, and it's just on a PDF to give you your time to really dive in and focus on it. We will be meeting tomorrow at 7. And we'll be going over the next part of this class. But yeah, this was really, really fun. And I am so grateful to, as I tell everybody, I'm so grateful to be the one little small blip in your journey. So I thank you for trusting me with your time, spending this time with me. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome evening. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, and good night, all.
Good night.
You're in for the light. Gonna spread some love. Gonna make you feel fine. So open up your heart and let the magic unwind.